Ladies and gentlemen,
Michael Douglas.
Thank you very, very much, and Sharon, thank you for those kind words.
We know Michael Douglas as a Hollywood legend, a man who has graced our screens with unforgettable performances. But behind the iconic roles lies a deeply human story, one filled with love, resilience, and heartache. Recently, his wife, Catherine Zeta-Jones, broke her silence, sharing devastating news about Michael's ongoing health battle. Today, we dive into their story. Michael Douglas was born on September 25, 1944, in New Brunswick, New Jersey, but his arrival was far from ordinary. His parents, Kirk Douglas and Diana Dill, were visiting Diana's sister at the time. Her sister's husband was one of the founders of Johnson & Johnson. While staying at their estate, Diana went into early labor. Michael was born at St. Peter's Hospital, small and premature, but healthy enough to grow into the world of Hollywood royalty. Michael's early life wasn't as perfect as it might seem. When he was 6, his parents divorced, and his relationship with his famous father became strained. He was mostly raised by his mother and her new husband. As a child, he moved around a lot, attending private schools in New York, Massachusetts, and Connecticut. But despite his privileged upbringing, Michael's teenage years had a surprising twist. He joined a street gang called the Downshifters. The gang specialized in stealing cars for parts. This rebellious streak was unexpected for someone from a wealthy family, but hinted at his ability to connect with complicated and gritty roles later in life. Acting wasn't always Michael's dream. When he went to the University of California, Santa Barbara, he struggled in school. On the verge of failing, he had to choose a major and reluctantly picked theater. His father wasn't thrilled about his decision. After watching Michael perform in a college play, As You Like It, Kirk Douglas reportedly thought his son didn't have much talent. But Michael didn't let that stop him. After graduating in 1968, he moved to New York to start his acting career. He shared a small, cheap apartment with his friend Danny DeVito, who would later become a star in his own right. Money was tight, but Michael was determined. His first TV role came in 1969 in a CBS Playhouse special called The Experiment. He was credited as M.K. Douglas, a name he never used again. In 1972, Michael got his big break on the TV series The Streets of San Francisco. He starred alongside Carl Malden, a veteran actor who became his mentor. The show ran until 1976 and helped Michael improve his craft. He earned 3 Emmy nominations and even directed some episodes. Working closely with Malden taught him a lot about the technical side of filmmaking. His career was on the rise, but in 1980, a skiing accident forced him to step back for 3 years. It was a tough setback, but Michael wasn't ready to give up. And he decided to produce One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. The path to producing this film began with his father, Kirk Douglas. Kirk owned the rights to the story since 1962, after starring in its Broadway adaptation. For years, Kirk tried to turn the novel into a film, but failed to find the right deal. Frustrated, he gave the rights to his son Michael in 1974. Michael, though new to producing, saw potential in the project and decided to take a chance. Making the film wasn't easy. With a small budget of $3 million, Michael and his co-producer Saul Zaentz had to be creative. They filmed in a real mental institution in Oregon, even using actual patients as extras. This added a sense of realism to the movie, but also sparked controversy. The biggest challenge came when they decided not to cast Kirk in the lead role of Randall McMurphy. Instead, they chose Jack Nicholson. This decision created tension between Michael and his father, but it turned out to be the right move. Nicholson's performance was unforgettable, and the film became a huge success. It earned $112 million at the box office and won all 5 major Academy Awards. Best Picture, Best Actor, Best Actress, Best Director, and Best Screenplay. After this success, Michael's acting career gained momentum. In 1979, he starred in The China Syndrome, a film about the dangers of nuclear power. The timing of the movie's release was shocking. Just 12 days after it hit theaters, the real-life 3 Mile Island nuclear accident occurred. This made the film incredibly relevant and sparked widespread conversations about nuclear safety. The production also had its own drama. Originally, Richard Dreyfuss was cast, but left the project, forcing last-minute changes. Michael worked alongside Jane Fonda, and despite some early tension between them, their collaboration paid off. The film became a hit and showed the world Michael could handle serious roles. One of Michael's most famous roles came in 1987 with Wall Street. He played Gordon Gekko, a greedy, cutthroat financier. The role wasn't easy for him at first. Director Oliver Stone pushed Michael hard, even questioning his ability to act. Stone once told Michael he looked like he had never acted a day in his life. But Michael delivered, and the result was one of the most iconic performances of his career. The famous "Greed is Good" speech in the film was inspired by a real financier, Ivan Boesky, who later went to jail for insider trading. When the film came out, it coincided with a major stock market crash known as Black Monday, making the movie feel even more relevant. Michael's performance as Gekko earned him an Academy Award for Best Actor. Many doubted he could pull off such a bold character, but he proved them wrong. He even joked in his acceptance speech about being thankful to Oliver Stone for believing in him. Interestingly, Wall Street holds a strange record. It's the only movie to win an Oscar for Michael and a Razzie for Daryl Hannah's performance in the same film. From producing One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest to acting in Wall Street, Michael Douglas's career has been a mix of risks, challenges, and big rewards. Apart from films, he had an interesting love life. His first marriage was a fast and dramatic love story that ended in one of Hollywood's biggest divorces. In 1977, when Douglas was 32, he met 19-year-old Diandra Luker, the daughter of an Austrian diplomat, at President Jimmy Carter's inauguration. They fell for each other quickly. Just 2 weeks after they started dating, Douglas proposed. 6 weeks later, they were married. Their marriage seemed happy at first, and they welcomed their son, Cameron, on December 13, 1978. But things weren't as perfect as they seemed. Douglas later admitted that the marriage was troubled from early on. In an interview years later, he said they should have ended it 8 or 10 years before they actually divorced. By the time their divorce was finalized in 2000, it became famous for its high cost. Diandra walked away with over $45 million and their Santa Barbara estate. They also had to share their Mallorca villa, each using it for 6 months of the year. Douglas later admitted this arrangement was very uncomfortable for both of them and made their post-divorce lives even harder. While his divorce was being finalized, Douglas's life took a new turn. In 1998, he met Catherine Zeta-Jones, the woman who would become his second wife. Their meeting was like something out of a movie. Douglas saw her in The Mask of Zorro and was immediately drawn to her. When he found out she would be at the Deauville Film Festival, he made sure they met. But their first encounter didn't go smoothly. Douglas told her, "I'm going to be the father of your children." Zeta-Jones, unimpressed, replied, "I've heard a lot about you, and I think it's time to say goodnight." Douglas didn't give up. He sent her flowers to apologize, and this small gesture was the start of their romance. 2 years later, on November 18, 2000, they were married at the Plaza Hotel in New York. Their wedding was grand, costing $1.5 million. It included a 40-member Welsh choir and performances by stars like Jimmy Buffett. and Art Garfunkel. The guest list was packed with celebrities, including Jack Nicholson, Goldie Hawn, and Danny DeVito. It was one of the biggest celebrity events of the year. Their relationship had another unique detail. They share the same birthday, September 25th, though Douglas is 25 years older. Before their wedding, the couple welcomed their first child, Dylan, in August 2000. 3 years later, they had their daughter, Karis, in April 2003. Zeta-Jones later joked about her quick labors, saying, "I was born to pop out babies. I had my daughter in an hour and a half." In 2000, Michael Douglas's career took an exciting turn with two standout roles. First came Wonder Boys, where Douglas played Grady Tripp, a messy and struggling college professor with writer's block. The movie, released in February, had a great cast, including Tobey Maguire, Frances McDormand, and Robert Downey Jr. Douglas's performance was different from his usual intense roles. He showed a softer, more humorous side, which earned him nominations for a Golden Globe and a BAFTA. It proved he could surprise audiences with something new. Later that year, in December, Douglas starred in Traffic, a film about the war on drugs. He played Robert Wakefield, a drug czar caught between his public responsibilities and personal problems. Directed by Steven Soderbergh, the movie became a huge success, winning multiple Oscars and showing up on over 175 top 10 lists. The cast, including Douglas and Catherine Zeta-Jones, won a SAG Award for their performance. These two films reminded everyone that Douglas was a versatile actor who could take on any role. In 2013, Douglas took on one of the biggest challenges of his career. He played Liberace in HBO's Behind the Candelabra. This role came after Douglas's tough battle with throat cancer, making it deeply personal. To prepare, he learned to play piano and wore elaborate costumes, wigs, and makeup to become the famous entertainer. The performance was emotional, especially in the scenes showing Liberace's death. Even Douglas's father, Kirk, found these moments hard to watch because of Michael's recent illness. The effort paid off. Douglas won an Emmy, a Golden Globe, and a SAG Award for the role. It showed his dedication and skill as an actor. Douglas later joined the Marvel Cinematic Universe in Ant-Man 2015, playing Dr. Hank Pym, a grumpy and brilliant scientist. He embraced the character's flaws, making him rough around the edges, but still likable. Fans and critics praised his performance, saying it added depth to the movie. Douglas has said he wants his character to have a dramatic ending in the franchise, joking about a scene where Pym shrinks to ant size and explodes. His time in Marvel films has shown he can bring energy and gravitas to blockbuster roles, even late in his career. Michael Douglas's battle with throat cancer began with a frustrating and critical delay in diagnosis. For nearly a year, doctors dismissed his persistent sore throat as a simple infection, leaving the true cause untreated. In August 2010, at age 65, he was finally diagnosed with stage 4 throat cancer. A walnut-sized tumor was found at the base of his tongue, and the news was both shocking and life-altering. Stage 4 cancer often carries a grim prognosis, with survival rates of only 50 to 60% for cases linked to smoking and drinking. Yet, Douglas's doctors gave him an encouraging 80% chance of survival, setting the stage for a grueling fight. The treatment was nothing short of brutal. Douglas endured 8 weeks of intense chemotherapy and 31 daily sessions of radiation. The side effects were severe, stripping him of his sense of taste and leaving him in agonizing pain. Swallowing became nearly impossible, with even soft foods like avocados causing immense discomfort. Despite the physical toll, Douglas continued working through his treatment, promoting his film, Wall Street. Money Never Sleeps, while battling for his life. In 2013, Douglas found himself at the center of controversy after comments he made during an interview with The Guardian. When asked about his cancer, he appeared to attribute it to HPV, specifically linking the virus to oral sex. His words, "Without wanting to get too specific, this particular cancer is caused by HPV, which actually comes about from cunnilingus," sparked a media frenzy. The statement led to public confusion and medical debate, as well as embarrassment for his family. Although his spokesman later clarified that Douglas had been speaking generally about HPV-related cancers, the damage was done. In 2015, he expressed deep regret, saying, "I so regretted any embarrassment that it caused Catherine and her family." Throughout this ordeal, Catherine Zeta-Jones's support was unwavering, but came at a cost. She later admitted that her husband's diagnosis and treatment left her emotionally drained. "I was a mess," she said, expressing anger at how long it had taken for doctors to properly diagnose him. The stress of Douglas's illness, coupled with other personal and family challenges, affected her own health. In 2011, Zeta-Jones sought treatment for bipolar II disorder, a decision that highlighted the ripple effect a cancer diagnosis can have on loved ones. Still, she stepped back from her career to focus entirely on her husband's recovery, showing extraordinary dedication during their shared struggle. The experience left an indelible mark on their relationship. Douglas later reflected on how his battle with cancer brought them closer together. He described it as a life-changing event, saying it helped him feel like a free man and gave him a deeper appreciation for their bond. In August 2013, the marriage of Michael Douglas and Catherine Zeta-Jones faced its most difficult challenge. The couple announced their separation during a period marked by serious health struggles. Douglas was recovering from throat cancer, while Zeta-Jones was receiving treatment for bipolar II disorder. The stress of these health issues, combined with public controversy surrounding Douglas's comments about HPV and oral sex in an interview, added strain to their relationship. Zeta-Jones was reportedly upset by the remarks, further complicating their situation. Despite their separation, it didn't take long for them to work on rebuilding their relationship. By October 2013, reports surfaced that they were living together again and focused on reconciliation. Douglas showed his dedication to Catherine Zeta-Jones during this time by acknowledging her in his Emmy acceptance speech for Behind the Candelabra, even though she was not present. Their efforts to mend their bond marked the start of a stronger chapter in their marriage. Now, over a decade later, their relationship is thriving. In 2024, after 24 years of marriage, the couple's connection is described as better than ever. They maintain weekly date nights and are frequently affectionate, behaving like young lovers. Close friends note that Catherine often sits on Michael's lap and that their chemistry remains undeniable. Their relationship, which has always been rooted in a deep bond, seems to have grown even stronger over time. Big changes are underway for the couple. With both of their children, Dylan, now 23, and Karis, 21, having left home, they are adjusting to life as empty nesters. They recently listed their Irvington estate in Westchester County for $12 million, a significant jump from the $4.5 million they paid for it in 2019. The 11,653 square foot property features 8 ensuite bedrooms, 12 bathrooms, an indoor swimming pool, and a grand 2-story library. Selling the estate symbolizes a new chapter as they shift their focus toward a more European lifestyle. Douglas and Zeta-Jones have decided to spend more time abroad, particularly in Spain. Douglas, who has visited Mallorca for over 35 years, recently received the Master of Cinema accolade From Queen Letizia of Spain, he announced plans to spend 6 to 7 months annually in Mallorca, embracing the region as a second home. Their time in Europe reflects their desire to live more freely, explore new opportunities, and adapt to their children's independence. Meanwhile, Zeta-Jones has been deeply involved in her career, working on the second season of Netflix's Wednesday. She spent 7 months away from home for filming, but the couple managed to maintain their close bond despite the distance. Douglas even visited her on set. On their 24th wedding anniversary, Zeta-Jones shared photos from their lavish wedding, likening their enduring love to a hole-in-one. These gestures highlight how they prioritize their relationship even during demanding periods. As they transition to life without children at home, Douglas and Zeta-Jones are restructuring their living arrangements. They plan to split their time between Bermuda and Europe, creating a balance that suits their evolving lifestyle. Despite these changes, Douglas remains committed to his work. Although he admits he is more selective now, he has not retired, telling his agent to reach out only for roles that are truly special. Their story is one of resilience, love, and adaptability. From overcoming personal challenges to embracing new phases of life, Michael Douglas and Catherine Zeta-Jones continue to thrive together, proving that their bond is as enduring as ever.